To tell us about what it's like being just a guy with an appetite, everybody put your hands together for Dan Hoppen.
Thank you for that. I can see all your faces right now, and I'm getting a lot of the same expressions. I thought this was a presentation about food, and there's a tall, gangly, really skinny guy up at the podium. What's going on? I don't blame you for thinking that at all, but despite my fame, trust me, I love food, love eating, and that's why I'm here tonight. As CK said, my name's Dan Hoppen. I created a blog called Restaurant Hoppen, just an amateur little food blog I started a few years back. It's gained a bit of traction over the years that has led to some people calling me a food critic. Don't be fooled by that. I'm not a professional food reviewer. I'm just a guy who likes to eat, loves to write, and I combine those two things, and somehow I parlayed that into an opportunity like this. I really blame my mom for my food obsession. She actually, on the night that I was born, had my dad sneak Taco Bell into the delivery room. So my first meal was literally a chalupa. But more importantly, she's one of the best cooks that I know, and she really just made great meals growing up, and that kind of developed my love for food. My current position, I'm on the marketing team at Huddle down in the Haymarket. But my first 4 years out of college, I actually covered Nebraska athletics as a sports writer for HuskerOnline.com. And one of my favorite things about that job is you get to travel all over the country and eat a lot of great food. And my coworkers love to make fun of me because I was that guy who was like doing a ton of research on Yelp and looking at where the Food Network people had reviewed before we went on every trip. But they always appreciated it because I found the best spots for us. So jokes on them. But anyway, one of them suggested that I start doing restaurant reviews on Twitter, and thought that was kind of a weird idea, but I ran with it, and I actually really liked it, got some good interaction, so I just started a free WordPress blog a few years back, and it started off pretty small, just reviewing 1 or 2 restaurants a week locally, and actually preparing for this speech tonight, I had to go back and read some of my first posts. That was kind of rough. This is definitely a learning experience. But I grew over time, and now I post at least 2, if not 3 or 4 times a week. Mostly still just restaurant reviews, but also I blogged about what my last meal on earth would be, some eating challenges that I'm done, and I'm pretty sure I'm the only person ever that has written a blog comparing the watering hole bar to fantasy football. The reception was pretty tepid at first, which I totally understand. I had no expectations coming in. But as I began to post more frequently, I started having a lot of random food conversations with people on Twitter. Just complete strangers would hit me up and say, hey, I'm in Lincoln tonight. I'm looking for a burger. Where should I go? Or, hey, it's my anniversary this weekend. Where's a good spot to have a date night? But my favorites are really when people just randomly, out of the blue, will just text me pictures of their food. I don't know why they do it, but I appreciate it that they're sharing that food experience with me for some reason. And because the internet can be a toxic place and people love to get mad online, I've had some people get mad at me over the years for my reviews or when I talk smack on certain restaurants. Sorry, Dickey's Barbecue. But as you can see, I really don't take myself too seriously, and for the most part, all the interactions have been fun, and I kind of enjoy being labeled the food guy at the office. I could bore you with stats about page views and visitors, but I'm more blown away by just cool opportunities like this that I've gotten. I honestly kind of questioned the sanity of the people at Fire Spring when they initially emailed me wanting me to come on. I mean, you've got all these other people with like cool stories and speeches, and I'm a dude who writes about food. But I'm extremely appreciative of that. I guess if there is one thing you can take from my speech tonight, it's just, if you can find something that you're passionate about, just do it. I mean, I never had any expectations coming into this that I would do speaking events or I would have my meals paid for by restaurants, but that's where we are now. Like, you don't have to be an expert at something to do good at it. I love all the new avenues my blog has opened up for me, but honestly, I'd still write it, even if no one ever saw it. I just love just getting in front of a computer, hacking away at the keyboard, and writing about what I love. Whatever your passion is, just give it a shot. Maybe it'll never throw you up on a stage in front of hundreds of wonderful Lincolnites, but that's not what's important. If it makes you happy, that's what matters. So when I started this thing, I never imagined it would land me in an opportunity like this. I'd like to thank my family and friends for putting up with me being that weird guy who has to take pictures of his food before every meal. I'd also like to thank the great people at Firespring for giving me this chance, and for all of you for listening or putting up with food talk from a skinny guy. Thank you.